Good evening, everybody, and welcome to another exciting episode of Late for the Party on YouTube. I am your host, Harry Labria, aka Cover Boy, the Modern Marvel. That's right, we are going to get into an In My Mind segment. We're going to talk about the NFL halftime show that Kendrick Lamar wound up doing, and want to have a little talk about how they were. It's been polarizing how people saying it's the weakest the weakest halftime show ever and whatnot. But before we get into that, please like, comment, share, subscribe to the podcast. Check out everything on YouTube. The link will be in the description once I upload everything. So either way, but before we get into all of that, let's get into it with this. Tell a friend, tell a foe, let everybody know that this is late for the party, and this is how we go. So let's get into it. So, all right, y'all. So everybody's sitting here flipping about how everybody's flipping about how the whole halftime show, it didn't have any energy. It lacked energy. It had nothing going, and how but see, that's the point, that it wasn't supposed to be like how everything else is, or how Kendrick didn't need to have somebody floating in the air like Rihanna's last halftime show last year or whatnot. It didn't have that same energy like everybody else. It didn't have to be. The whole point was the artistry behind what Kendrick was doing. That's the thing that a lot of people don't understand, that Kendrick is an artist. Kendrick is hip hop. Kendrick is what people don't want to hear, or especially the folks who are pretty much who are at the Super Bowl, especially the older, whiter crowd. Let's just say it like that. But does that mean that it was a bad show? No, of course not. I hear people like Mace and all of them saying that it lacked energy or whatever, and but it was the message behind what he was talking about that a lot of people were that people were miss they weren't really aware of. And if everything that you saw, that pretty much the whole thing with the X's and the circles and the triangle and all that, he was a PlayStation controller, which was creative. The creativity of Kendrick is very dope. And I love how he was able to get his point across to where, like, you don't have to do the whole wow, you have to wow everything. I mean, he didn't even have a live band doing everything, which I must give props, because how he managed to pull everything on the whoever set up the programming and everything on the his music selection was pretty dope. And you don't have to sit there and play everything. He didn't have to do all that, which was cool to me. I think a lot of people who understood what he was getting his what understood what that was. It was great. And all you Drake fans out there feeling all bad because he wound up doing "They're Not Like Us." They're not. Oh, sorry, that mess was classic. Everybody thought he wasn't gonna do it. I didn't think. I mean, I didn't honestly think that that wouldn't have been too much of a problem if he was able to do it or not. But I mean, considering the fact that, let's just be honest, folks, did you honestly believe that Drake had any kind of chance winning any kind of battle against Kendrick? Seriously? Seriously, let's just think about this. Really think about this really tough. And I'm gonna hurt people's feelings about this. I'm like, Drake is not hip hop. He was. He was at one point. He was at one point to where a lot of people don't even remember that Drake had a first album before the one that where he got with Young Money. A lot of people don't even realize that Drake was actually rapping. Like I remember where he did a track with he did actually did a track with Little Brother. He did a track with Little Brother. It was a comeback season. Drake did was comeback season back in 2007. Okay, and then when his breakout, he did a couple other ones, but I think his breakout one was either "Thank Me Later." 'Cause I don't remember too much of "So Far Gone," but I mean, considering the fact that he kind of morphed into pop, and I'm gonna be honest, he's always been pop in that aspect. Nothing's wrong with being pop. I mean, that's what you appeal to. If your album is mainly you singing rather than you rapping, and honestly, you having a lot of guest people rapping on your stuff, but you, hey, take your W's however you could get them. You know what I'm saying? Take your W's for what it truly is. People want to sit here and say, "Oh, you're glazing over Kendrick. Kendrick is a beast." But then, honestly, let's just be real about it. I've never heard. I mean, it is weird to say this, and somebody else said it before. It's like, has anybody ever really talked about the losers of a victory before? To really think about nobody really talks about this guy in second place. If you didn't win, if you didn't get the gold, you pretty much okay. You got silver, but okay, what's good? What good is that? It's for what it is. That's fine, no problem. But I think honestly, when it comes down to, I've never heard so many people talk about Drake even after this whole beef or whatever. And honestly, it was going to be a landslide anyway. Drake doesn't have those kind of chops. I'm gonna keep it a beam with you. Drake does not have those kind of chops to go up against Kendrick. Honestly, skill wise, anything. He doesn't have that kind of juice. Now, when you're talking about production, maybe because he has production and all of that stuff, but when it comes down to just cold hard skills, there's no way in hell that Drake was gonna win. No way. Yeah, you could like Drake. Yeah, you could like Kendrick, but at the end of the day, one's an aspired himself to be a true lyricist and embedded himself into hip hop over the guy who decided to, instead of just doing the hip hop route, he just chose the popular route. He chose to be popular, and that's fine. But for people to sit here and talk about how this dude is not how Drake is hip hop, oh, he is not. Even Most Def even said if you could his music is more like you can listen to it in an elevator or shopping at Target. You're not gonna hear most of Kendrick's music playing at Target, and that's cool. Not everything is cut in that same mold. You know what I'm saying? And but for Drake to say that he could actually battle or go to go to war against somebody like on the aspects of a Kendrick, just because of your popularity will keep you afloat. Just because you're popular, and that's fine. But that's as far as it goes. Drake is only popular because of the fact that the music that he does. It may be because he was on Degrassi, but even then, who gives a shit? Kendrick came through it with the stuff that he has, with the little stuff that he got, and he managed to pull it up the best way he could. He can. And he has some gems on this shit. Pimp a Butterfly is great. Damn, it's great. I mean, hell, there's a lot of, I mean, shoot, Section 8, what? Section 80? Still one of my favorite albums. So, sorry, y'all, I'm still recovering from being sick and shit. So, if I sound all congested and everything, hey, bear with me. You know what I'm saying? Trying to do my due diligence by trying to keep up. But, but yeah, man, it's crazy when you really think about how all this will come out in the long run. This dude does not have the chops to do it. He does not, and that's fine. But as far as I'm concerned, it was not going to be any kind of chance for Drake to actually outshine Kendrick. His popularity could not keep him afloat, and that's fine. But but for Kendrick's halftime show and whatnot, I loved it. I loved every bit of it. Anybody who doesn't understand that just because you don't have to have all the glitz and the glamour and the style of how like all other halftime shows have to be, it doesn't have to be a full conglomerate. Hell, half the stuff that he had on his on Kendrick's halftime show, a lot of people can't even have on regular stages and shit. I mean, hell, maybe Coachella, if that. I mean, you think what he'd had on there? You think what he had on there wasn't pricey? He had to pay just about every. I mean, I don't know if anybody really gets paid for halftime shows or not, but I don't know. And you had Sam Jackson. Yeah, why everybody complaining? It was entertaining. It may not have been entertaining to everybody, but it was entertaining to my ass. Whew, boy. But I digress from my point. And all this, but it was a statement. It was a message. And all the stuff that he was saying. I mean, I'm not gonna relay everything back word for word, bar for bar, but everything from. It's funny that this dude had Drake's ex girlfriends even on the damn stage. Oh my god! Like, and that's another thing. Serena, girl, what you doing out there crip walking? Help me make it make sense. Ain't you married? If I was Serena's husband, I'm like, no, the fuck you not. She just disrespected her husband. Talking about, yeah, I'm gonna go out there tripping, doing a little crip walk just for a quick hot second, just so I can diss my ex boyfriend. Like, what the hell? Talk about petty. Shoot, I was forged in the fires of Mount Petty. I wouldn't even do that shit. But either way, oh boy. All right, I'm gonna get into the next segment in a bit, but just wanted to get this one out real quick. So before I head off of this, please like, comment, share, subscribe to the podcast, guys. Like always, this is the In My Mind segment on YouTube, also on TikTok, real quick. This is I'm doing a quick little live. But before that, Like I said, please like, comment, share, subscribe. The link will be in the description. Hit those bells, get the notifications, and I will see you guys on the next segment. As always, you're always on time when you're late for the party.